I'm gonna get straight to it. You know, there's been a lot of heavy distractions lately, and I'm not gonna speak too loud either, and I'm not gonna address certain things, at least right now, to stay on the topic that's at hand. I labeled this vid, you know, divine or by design. Design or by divine. What I mean by that, there's been a lot of storms, a lot of crimes, a lot of heinous things, a lot of frustrations, a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. Um, I've been dealing with a lot myself, as far as trying to get to know who I am and continue to be humble. Although I believe and know that there's a very, very strong forces, you know, behind me, and the same for you, because I'm speaking to those ones. Now, by design or divine, and it's for educational purpose only. You know, they're speaking of all these different storms, and then they come up with the names for these storms. Um, some would even say it's biblical that we're living in the last days, and some would even talk about Christ, etc., the return for the ones that's religious, etc. Um, and this is just my personal opinion. Now, for the ones that have an overstanding that the U.S. and a lot of places that's tapped in with other worldly beings, you know, interdimensional, um, reptilians, Palladians that walk among us, meaning we have all kind of technology that they will call alien, you know, advanced. So people speak of weather modifications, manipulations, um, cloud seeding, um, and it's very true. Now, me personally, I believe that it's by design, but all things come through divine. See, the enemy is always lurking and searching for different ways to come up with keeping your vibrations down, to keep you stuck into this matrix, so you can keep being a food source for the energy vampires. And let me say this too, you know, it's not hurting me, you know, if a person not a real supporter, you know, that don't shake me, you know. Like I said, either you can move around or you can sit back and watch on the sideline. For the real ones, you know, get get the likes up, you know, I would appreciate that. You know, share the vids, share the lives, you know, help me get back into the algorithm. But I'm not worried about no haters, because I do know there's a lot of weird things going on trying to stop these messages, you know, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and that's ruffle feathers. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and again, I'm not personally going to get so deep into this political thing. Just know it's another distraction, just like all the rest of these. A lot of this stuff is way deeper than P. Diddy. You know, you having all some of these storms come so fast, these people don't even have time to prepare. It seems like it just come out of nowhere. And I definitely know for a fact and believe that is by design, but I believe in, you know, a higher power, a source, the light. So It's by divine. So it's both. But the enemy is definitely doing all that the enemy can do to try to keep just the real ones from rising, just humanity in general, for people to continue being slaves. See, it's a big game. Like, even the whole race thing is just another distraction. A lot of things are distractions upon distractions and within distractions. They got you hating this person for this or that, for color or this and that. The whole time you still got to get up and go work a job. No matter how you look, you still have to. For the physical workers that's actually doing a lot of physical work, mental work, because you could be sitting down all day typing with your fingers, getting all kind of, what they call it, whatever they call it, where you need a hand brace. We all a slave to this system. That's why it's very important to free the mind. But this is definitely by design. A lot of these, just like, again, I'm only speaking about certain things I keep hearing about, like the whole immigration thing. You know, you don't have money to fund the Americans, right? The people that been born here, etc., and all this. You can't even help the poor here, but you got money to give to illegal aliens, immigrants. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. The game is rigged, and they making these. The enemy is making big moves on the chess board. But the real ones that's ascended, that's here and above, they already see those plans, and it will not be successful. Again, it's bigger than Diddy. You got a billion Diddies, even worse than Diddies, that you not gonna hear about or they not gonna talk about. Or how that, just like you have gene manipulation, or they call it gene splicing. It's the same thing they can do with weather, causing hurricanes and floods, etc. I don't think everything is necessarily controlled, because I do believe in Mother Nature. I do believe that the earth is what they would probably label a female, a feminine planet, a water planet, a living entity itself, herself, or whatever you want to label it. So I'm not just going to say every single thing, but that's when every catastrophe that happens, that, oh, they're tampering with the weather, etc., this and that. I can't just say that, but at the same time, I'm just saying they tell you already that they have technology to do that, because certain men or men always want to play the role of the ultimate God, and I think that's where you make the ultimate mistake. So yeah, you know, there's a lot more to come, and we are living in the last days as we know it. But you have to have an overstanding, just like the Simpsons. How do they know this? How do they put this in the Simpsons, and then it's playing out to become to be true? Because those are the ones that's painting those pictures. Those are the ones that's creating those narratives. It's predictive programming at its finest. Predictive programming. You get used, just like when you live in poor environments, you get used to the crime to the point where it just become a normal thing. But it's not a normal thing for a person that lives outside of that lives in a safe neighborhood. They're terrified of to even be around those kind of things. But to the ones that's used to living, in poverty and high crime area, it becomes a normal thing. So study thyself and study everything around you, because the enemy is constantly studying you, especially those ones. And what you may think a human, may be standing right next to you, may be working with you. You may even possibly be in a relationship. Your attorney or etc. could just might just be what they label extraterrestrial. So yeah, you got people they may call it conspiracy theories, etc. This, that, and the third, but it's true. If you can clone people, if you can do all these different experiments, make artificial lab grown meat and this and that, the game is rigged. The world is a stage, and some of us are the main characters, and some of us are the background characters. Is definitely at its best when it comes down to technology. And be very careful with what you listen to. I have to tell myself that a lot because I came up in the music era, just music in general. But there's a lot of demonic, tunes and rhythms and things that get in your brain. That's also another predictive programming to get in your head and it gets stuck there. You hear voices that others may not hear. There's voices all around us, and some of us may not hear it because we're around a bunch of noise, silent voices, shadow people, etc. But yeah, a lot of this is definitely by design. Everything you see with the whole immigrants, with the election, with the storms. But again, I do believe Mother Nature is angry about certain things too. You just have to use your own discernment, you know, and tell what's real from what's false. But I'm gonna end the vid on this. And if it ain't nobody rocking with me, I don't know why you're here. If you're not supporting, or other you just here just to watch the greatness. I speak to those real ones. You know, your yourself. You shall always believe and always put your mind to anything you can achieve it. It's ones, triple ones, that is. I own us 13.